Liam Neeson was in an interview today, and he mentioned that he's not interested in doing any other Star Wars projects. Granted, he mentioned he's older, and he wasn't a fan of the green screen acting. However, it's pretty sad when someone that played a character like Qui-Gon Jinn has no interest in being a part of Star Wars anymore. It just goes to show how sour even the actors are. Oscar Isaac, John Boyega, Mark Hamill expressed a distrust and dislike of these new Star Wars movies, and that they don't want anything to do with them. So it just goes to show how Lucasfilm is handling things, how they handle the actors and the movies, and it's just a big indicator of where Star Wars is these days when you have actors that don't want to reprise any roles, even to the extent of having their own Disney Plus shows. Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian, also was in an interview today, and he mentions a few hints towards Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Normally, I like babies, but in this case, I love this baby. Look, they made a show with Baby Yoda. I don't think they had a real idea how big this baby would be. I don't think they knew, judging from the fact there's not a lot of merchandising out there for Baby Yoda. I think it's pretty ridiculous that Disney didn't have an idea that Baby Yoda was going to be successful. At the end of the day, yes, you don't know. You could put out a piece of art, whether it be a painting, a movie, a character, and you never know until people react to it. But if you would have product tested a Baby Yoda, if you would have shown him to just about anybody, it's pretty obvious that people are going to like Baby Yoda. There's some people that don't care for him. I don't hate Baby Yoda or dislike him, but I'm not a huge fan of Baby Yoda personally. Most people do love him, but even the people that don't really like him, it's more so for the fact of what he represents, the marketing tool to suck you into Disney Plus and to The Mandalorian. If you took Baby Yoda out of The Mandalorian show, would any of you watch it? No. The truth is that nobody gives a damn about The Mandalorian. It's all about Baby Yoda. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that this little Baby Yoda was going to be a hit. It's just a reminder of Lucasfilm and Disney's nearsightedness when it comes to Star Wars. So the quote finishes off with, "I love Baby Yoda, and I'm most excited about having some airtime with that baby." In another interview, Esposito says, major, epic lightsaber action happening on this show. And I should mention that I'm the only character in the first season who was able to be honored with having the lightsaber, so it feels wonderful. Now, ironically, I've heard people over the years, in particular Red Letter Media, but I've heard other fans say that they're sick of lightsabers and Jedi. They just want other Star Wars without the Force and Jedi and all that stuff. I think that's kind of crazy. That's the groundwork of Star Wars. But okay, we all have different tastes. So I think it's just interesting how some people would rather not see lightsabers in Star Wars. And I think that that's some people, not most, but some people, why they like The Mandalorian, because it's not a Force thing so much or a Jedi thing. Although Baby Yoda is, of course, using the Force and breaking lore with it. It's just an interesting dynamic, and I think that's part of the popularity of The Mandalorian, is people that don't know Star Wars or don't care so much about the Force and Jedi and Sith and stuff like that. I think it also fits the Mandalorian's character better that you don't do too much Force or lightsaber stuff because he's a bounty hunter kind of on the fringes of what everything is going on in Star Wars. So it makes sense not to have that stuff. Personally, I love Jedi, Sith, lightsabers, all that good stuff. Giancarlo goes on to say, anything is possible and you keep watching, because although the baby has some incredible power without having to wield the Darksaber, I think the baby is so curious about what this is. So you will be enthused and inspired when you see the scene I'm referring to in Season 2, which is to come in October. Keep watching. So with that said, although we already knew it's in October, it's just another confirmation that it's coming in October. But it's also a confirmation that Gideon will have at least a scene with Baby Yoda, and that the Darksaber and other lightsabers are involved. He's going to have some sort of a struggle with another user that has a lightsaber, whether that ends up being a Jedi, a Sith, or what have you. There's some hints as to what's coming in Season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Well, I'm glad I'm not creating any spoilers at all, because I do respect. Also, I had a driver yesterday, right? He brought me over here, and he said, "Yeah, I drive in skill again, blah 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 blah." I don't want to know anything. First thing he said to me, "I don't want to know anything." I said, "Wow, that's the first time that's ever happened. That's really pretty fantastic."
Tomorrow, Monday at 9 p.m., Project Luminous will be announced, and they're going to detail what exactly Project Luminous is. There's been stories back and forth that it's a lot of different things. Mostly the rumors have been that it's a storytelling type of group that will expand the universe through books and comics. There's also been talks of they have involvement with games and also with TV shows and / movies. So we'll see tomorrow. They're going to make an official announcement apparently tomorrow. I can't find a source anywhere where they're going to make this announcement, but I would keep an eye on StarWars.com, of course Twitter and YouTube. I'm sure we'll have something. In 2017, Samsung released a limited edition Stormtrooper themed robot vacuum cleaner. Nobody really caught on to this thing. It kind of went through the cracks. Probably a big part of it is that it was a retail of $700 for a little Roomba type vacuum cleaner. It basically has a first order Stormtrooper cover on it. It has been sold for as much as $1,500 on Amazon, which I don't know who would pay that for that. Some crazy fanatics, I guess. If you are interested in it, it is on sale at Home Depot for $200. 72% off the original price. Diego Luna has been very vocal lately about the Cassian Andor show. About a week ago, it was announced that they're redoing all the scripts. So here we go again. Another Disney Plus show getting retooled. At D23, Luna said, "It's been a really hard 3 years, to be honest. I've been waiting for the call." Recently, within the past 2 weeks, Diego Luna had said in another interview that the Cassian Andor show was planned and in talks before Rogue One came out. Rogue One came out in 2016. So if this show has been talked about before Rogue One, we're talking about another show like Obi-Wan Kenobi that has been in talks for 5 years. They have not established a story. They have not established a title. They haven't even established what characters are going to be in the show. And now they're redoing all the scripts. You can pretty much assume that this show is canceled as well. There's really barely anyone that wants to even see this series. So what's the point? After 5 years going back and forth, and now they're redoing scripts all over again. Disney is desperate to get some sort of TV shows going, but there's just no interest in the Cassian Andor series. I've seen at this point maybe a dozen people that have said they want to see this show. But be honest, who out there is talking about a Cassian Andor show? Nobody but Disney. Keep in mind that corporations, marketing companies, they'll do this sometimes. They'll put out an idea, a leak, a rumor, to see how people react. And if a bunch of people were crazy and saying, "Oh my God, we want the Cassian Andor show," it's like a test. It's like a poll. They want to see if there's interest. There has been zero interest in the show, and they keep reworking it. That's why they keep reworking it, is because they don't know where to go with it or what to do with it. Nobody has any interest in it. So while this is not as grave as the Obi-Wan Kenobi situation, you can pretty much count this one canceled as well. Either way, nobody cares, and they keep going back and forth with this show. Again, it's been in talks for 5 years, and they're just now talking about starting production, and then they are redoing the scripts over again. So even if they do proceed with this show, the rewrites are going to take time, and it's probably not even going to start filming till next year. They've pushed back Obi-Wan, they've pushed back Cassian, and all movies. So now Disney is just clumping all this mess together, and they have no content. We'll see how long Disney Plus's 25 million plus subscribers last without any content. On the 21st, The Hollywood Reporter broke that there's a new Star Wars movie in the works. Director J.D. Dillard and Luke Cage writer Matt Owens have been tapped to develop a project, but it is unclear whether it is a theatrical or Disney Plus release. Director J.D. Dillard has done very little, so I can't imagine he's going to get a Star Wars movie. But I want to point out a few things in this article because people like to read things in a certain way and they're not reading it correctly. First, it says that Dillard and Owens have been tapped to develop a project, not direct, not film, not produce a Star Wars movie, but rather tapped to develop a project. So perhaps they're being given the opportunity to write something, but that doesn't mean that Dillard is actually going to make a Star Wars movie, which is a misconception that's going around right now. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's going to direct this movie." And it doesn't say that. It says that director Dillard is involved, but not that he's going to direct. He has been tapped to develop a project. This article was written by Boris Kitt. Something that he says in the article people ran off with, which is incorrect as well. In the article it says, plot, character, and settings details are unknown and are being kept in the murky underworld of Exegol. Listen to that carefully. Plot, character, and settings details are unknown and are being kept in the murky underworld of Exegol. In other words, he was being a bit whimsical in saying that the details of the show are being hidden like Palpatine was in Exegol. He did not say that the show is on Exegol, which is something that a bunch of people are reporting on, that the show's in Exegol. It is not. Boris Kitt on his Twitter had confirmed confirmed that it is not an Exegol. It is just the way that he wrote it. So we will see what's the deal with this show. We don't know anything official about it, who's going to be involved, and what it's going to be about. But apparently Disney is planning another Star Wars movie. It's interesting because Bob Iger just weeks ago said that they're not going to be doing any movies in the near future. And here we go again. Lucasfilm and Disney are so confused. They don't know what to do with Star Wars. There are 3 theatrical dates, however, made by Disney for Star Wars movies. The next one is December 16th of 2022, then December of 2024, and December of 2026. So they are working on something. What they'll come up with, I don't know. I don't think they have anything even firmly planned out. So it's going to be another sequel trilogy where they're just winging everything. If they're shooting for December of 2022, they have just over 2 years. They better get on it because it's going to turn into another mess of unplanned movies. While this one is a rumor, it is coming from several credible sources, and it really just makes sense. President Kathleen Kennedy is banned from the set of The Mandalorian Season 2. Again, this is still in rumor. We don't know if this is an actual fact, but I'm going to say that it probably is absolute fact. We have seen Kathleen on the set of pretty much every Star Wars project. We've even seen her on The Mandalorian. And I could see her constantly going to the set and putting her little 2 cents in. I want to believe that Favreau, when he signed on to do The Mandalorian, sat down with Bob Iger and said, look, if I'm going to do this, I have full control. I don't want anybody messing with my show. I presume that Kathleen kept showing up on the set, wanted to put her little 2 cents in, trying to make changes. And Favreau got to a point where he said, look, lady, you got to get out of here. He went to Bob Iger. Bob Iger said, you got to stay off that set. We can't mess up Baby Yoda and The Mandalorian right now because this is all we got. Cassian is up in the air. Obi-Wan has been canceled. The movies are a disaster. We're all over the place. And Star Wars is losing money. So again, while this is still in rumor, I'm going to say that this is probably absolutely true. It would make total sense with all the mess that Kathleen Kennedy has made, and they don't want to mess up their golden goose right now with the only property they have that's working, and that's The Mandalorian. The Clone Wars just came out on Friday. It was pretty good. I'm sure that the season will do pretty well, but at the end of the day, that's just a cartoon. It's only going to go so far, and we know that it's the end. So while it'll get some ratings for the next couple months, that's not going to hold like a TV show or a movie. So Disney is treading very lightly with The Mandalorian because they know they cannot screw this up. The last piece of news I'll leave you with is a few days ago I made a video. The Rise of Skywalker can't even make $150,000 at the box office. A quick update, it is now at $1,070,000,000. It just crossed that 70 million mark, but it still has 30 million to go to even make 1.1. Never mind being in contention with The Last Jedi at 1.3. This movie is fizzling quickly. It's not going to make very much more money, and it's at its end of its run. Disney has definitely bit the bullet on this one and lost money on The Rise of Skywalker. They claim the budget is $275. You double that for marketing, that's $550. We know that it was more than $275, and they're not selling merchandise or posters or shirts or anything. Nothing is being sold from The Rise of Skywalker. They don't even barely have a toy line, and nobody even cares about this movie. Who's talking about The Rise of Skywalker other than us YouTube creators that talk about this type of thing? Nobody cares about Star Wars right now, and they are bleeding money. So looking from Tuesday the 18th when I last reported that at 147, it then went down to 115, then 101. Benefiting from the Friday weekend, it went up to 142. Saturday it did okay at 257, and then Sunday today it's going to 132. This movie is really struggling, and at this rate to get to 1.1, it's just not a reality. This movie is now at day 66 and it's coming to the end of its run. In about a week I'll do the detailed breakdown of the entire box office run for The Rise of Skywalker in comparison to all the other films, and we'll really see where this matches up and how it performed. And that's about it for this week. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the video. May the Force be with you.